back. Welcome back to Trash Man MMA, man. And today we're going over Tyro versus Park. This card happened yesterday, about a full 24 hours ago. But I am a busy man, so we're finally getting into it. And I had to take a little nap today, bruh. So get off my back. But we gonna get into it. Overall, pretty damn decent card, man. I really fucked with this card. A lot of people were hating on this card from the jump. Obviously, I was one of them. Specifically, the main event. But there's a lot of people, Bedtime, Che, and Kenny, they didn't even make fight card predictions for this video, bruh. I seen a lot of people not make fight card predictions for this card, bruh. And that shit kind of pissed me off because this was a really good card, man. Me and Guru were like the only motherfuckers who actually paid attention to this shit. And you know what? I'm happy about it, man, because there was a few bangers, there's a few good scraps, there's a few good comebacks, man. I really fucked with this card, dude. This card was overall pretty damn good. We're gonna go from bottom to top. Save the main event for the last, so let's just get straight into it, man. Pereira versus Rodriguez versus Souza. I didn't watch this fight, but I got it wrong. Pereira won. On to the next. Rafael Estevam versus Felipe Bunes. Rafael Estevam kind of just size maxed and weight mogged Felipe Bunes, and also just wrestle fucked him for about 15 minutes. I seen that nearing the with 1 minute left in the third round, Rafael Estevam had about 9 minutes of control time. And he then proceeded to control the rest of that third round, meaning he got about 10 fucking minutes of control time. 2 rounds of just absolute wrestle fucking Felipe Bunes. Bunes had a buggy choke in the first round. Didn't get it. Rafael Estevam was hip to that shit. Rafael Estevam won. I don't know the scorecard, but he won. Man, bro, I can't believe he's like 25, but he looks 40. That's absolutely insane. I got that pick right though. On short notice, Rafael Estevam got it done. On to the next, Austin Bashi versus John Yanez. Yeah, this guy doesn't even belong in the sport. No, hey, I'm not even trying to be mean, be rude. I'm not trying to just pick on fighters, right? John Yanez actually looks like a fucking pedophile. He actually looks like a fucking creep. He looks like the type of dude that you should not trust your family, kids, or anybody with. This motherfucker is a certified creep. Fish-eyed, fucking no remorse, no regret behind those eyes, man. These are the eyes of a killer. These are the eyes of somebody who you don't want to lock eyes with, bro. You see this guy in your house, you just know you're cooked. You know he's gonna fucking kill you. Not even because he's a good fighter. Just, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Don't trust this guy. Don't be caught dead within 200 feet of this guy, bro. Anyways, Austin Bashi gets it done in the first round. I don't know if he drops him, but just from what I remember, takes him down immediately and just kind of immediately subs him. I don't remember anything about this fight. All I remember is the finish, probably because it lasted 1 minute and 20 seconds. So Austin Bashi immediately takes him down, has some pitter-pat strikes to the side of the head and whatnot. John Yanez defending, and then Austin Bashi seeks in the rear naked choke immediately in the first. Gets it done, gets him out of here. How he's supposed to do it to a short notice opponent. So respect to Austin Bashi. I got that pick right. 2-1. Nick Klein versus Andre Puliev. I predicted Andre Puliev to get it done. I believe I said by decision, or maybe I said KO. I can't remember, but I feel like I want to say I did go second, third round KO, but I don't know. Let me know. I predicted Andre Puliev to just beat him, man. Nick Klein, I seen him wilt and have nothing against Ansur Abdul Malik. I seen him have absolutely nothing. I seen him had slight success in grappling, but for the most part, I just seen Malik fail to get a finish for most of that fight, and then it finally gets it in the third, I think. But I seen that Nick Klein was ripe for the KOing throughout that entire fight that he had with Malik. And Andre Puliev, he had a 3-round fight with CLD, somebody or a fighter that I respect, a fighter that I think is pretty damn good. I don't think he's ranked caliber, but I think he's just outside the rank, 20 to 25 type of fighter. So I respect CLDs. So to go 15 minutes with them without getting finished, I predicted Andre Puliev to get it done over Nick Klein, which he does. On to the next. Oh, by body kick as well. He had a sweet body kick. The first round was kind of Nick Klein did have some success in the grappling. Andre Puliev was making some mistakes, in my opinion. But in the third round, you could just see him every time they were on the feet, he was hurting Nick Klein. Any little shot looked genuinely. It was like, oh no, this is looking bad immediately for Nick Klein. And Puliev kept it calm, kept it consistent. And in the second round, I believe he stuffs a few takedowns from Nick Klein, and he's able to get right back to his feet. And when he does get back to his feet, man, he's so good at just getting back. Nick Klein had no ability to hold him down whatsoever in the second. He would just like sprawl, push him off, get up. And he was right back on the feet. He was right back to working all that jab, that right hand, that fucking body kick that he was landing on Nick Klein. It was all very good, and that's how he ended up finishing him off with the body kick in the second. Down goes Klein. Andre Puliev follows up with some good shots, and they stop the fight. So very good win by Andre Puliev. I respect it. On to the next. Rodolfo Vieira versus Tresean Gore. Just put the fucking fries in the bag, bro. Get this fucking kid out of here. Look, I'm a Tresean Gore fan, dude. That's why this fight was so upsetting to me. I'm a Tresean Gore fan, bro. I seen the fight that he had with Marco Tulio, and I was like, man, you know what? I'll fuck with this kid, bro. Look, he may have gotten finished by fucking Cody Brundage and some other no-name bums, but, man, I could fuck with some Tresean Gore, dude. He's pretty good. And you would expect the type, a fighter that, why is his toes so crossed? You would expect a fighter like him who has this Joaquin Buckley-esque build to at least be a decent striker, to at least be a quick, on his toes fighter that has some pretty good pop. Explosive. Bro is nothing. I have nothing. He is who, bro, this guy thinks he is who Joaquin Buckley actually is. Like, Joaquin Buckley is actually an explosive, powerful fighter. Tresean Gore is supposed to be that, but he's none of that. And it's so embarrassing to watch him just lazily not even throw, man. He just genuinely doesn't even throw for 20, 30, 40 seconds at a time. You'll see him land a good 1-2. Oh my gosh, Tresean Gore, you landed the 1-2. What else are we going to throw? Throws nothing for the next 30 seconds, man. He's almost like a Robert Whittaker Maxis. He can throw that 1-2, he can throw that jab, but other than that, he doesn't have anything, bro. If Tresean Gore had a 1-2 same side head kick, man, he might make it to the top. That's all I'm saying. No, I'm not trying to diss Robert, but Tresean Gore doesn't even have multiple 1-2s. He has a 1-2 once every minute, and that's about fucking all. Which is very surprising that Marco Tulio got dropped by that shit. Just saying. Rodolfo Vieira, man, all his takedowns got stuffed. He got one takedown out of 14. Tresean Gore stuffed 13 takedowns. Rodolfo Vieira couldn't get it to the ground, which I predicted. I was pretty sure Tresean Gore was going to be able to sprawl and just beat him up on the feet, because I thought he was an actual decent striker, competent striker who actually threw shots, but he is not that. So Rodolfo Vieira just literally pieced him up on the feet because Tresean Gore refused to throw anything. So Rodolfo Vieira gets all of his takedowns stuffed, but then proceeds to beat Tresean Gore on the feet, which I did not expect. I thought Tresean Gore would have the advantage. Rodolfo Vieira wins. I got that pick wrong, so I am 3-2 right now. On to the next. Rinya Nakamura versus Nathan Fletcher. I predicted Rinya Nakamura to win by sub, maybe, or points. I don't know. I think I said KO or points. I don't remember, but I definitely wasn't expecting it to happen a minute into the fight. I did think this fight was very 50-50. I had it about 60 to 40 in favor of Rinya Nakamura in terms of odds. I didn't see why Rinya Nakamura was like a +5 or a -500 favorite against Nathan Fletcher. I thought Nathan Fletcher, could hold his own, but I guess he did get beat by Callan Lochran, and that is a very embarrassing look. Rinya Nakamura gets it done. Again, not much to break down here. Rinya Nakamura is kind of just on the back foot, a little bit on the back foot, launches a body kick, and immediately, as soon as it landed, you see Nathan Fletcher's hands go down, and you see him try to put on that fucking that face. You see him put on that trying to be like poker face. He's trying to put on that I'm not hurt poker face. But he backs up, and as he's backing up, Rinya Nakamura takes one step forward. Nathan Fletcher's already like, all right, bro, you pressured me. I'm going to fall down now. And he completely falls down, gets one or two more shots, and they stop the fight. Two body kicks in the same card. Very nice to see, man. You both got to do some more, I don't know, sit-ups, crunches, or whatever, dude. That shit's embarrassing. But Rinya Nakamura gets it done in round one against Nathan Fletcher, excuse me. On to the main card, Danny Silva versus Kevin Vallejos. I have an opinion about this fight. I have an opinion. I definitely have an opinion about this fight. I see Weasel and Guru are the only people making recaps about this card. I see them saying Vallejos was putting on a masterclass against Silva. I see people saying, man, Kevin Vallejos really shut down Danny Silva, man. Danny Silva, all he was doing was emoting, bro. All he was doing was emoting in there. He wasn't even doing all that. Look, bro. Look, dude. There's being a hardcore, and then there's going a little extra with it, bro. There's like, all right, dude, I get it. You can see somebody, you're not a fool, right? You're not a fool. You're not gonna get fooled by somebody hitting these little emotes, hitting these, Sean Strickland ad emotes, right? Not Sean Strickland. Sean O'Malley, these Sean O'Malley ad emotes, right? We'll get into fucking Tatsuro Taira later. All right, that was crazy, but Danny Silva doing these Sean O'Malley ad fucking emotes, dude. It was messing with Kevin Vallejos a little bit, bro. You can see Kevin Vallejos was a little, what the fuck is this guy doing, bro? Like, I ain't never, like, you could tell when a fighter has never just literally had somebody laugh in their fucking face as when they're like taking their best shots. And Danny Silva was blocking, I'm not joking to you, bro. He was blocking about 70 to 80% of all of Kevin Vallejos' shots. All of his shots upstairs to the head, bro. Danny Silva was blocking and rolling with every single fucking one. I'm not even joking to you. Even the ones that Kevin Vallejos would land clean and you would be like, holy shit, he snapped his head back. Bro, I look at it again. He's rolling with every single one of those shots. You can tell when a fighter has their head snapped back, and you can tell when a fighter's rolling with it, but just very, very fast, bro. He's rolling with so many of these shots, and all of these shots are getting caught up in the guard, hitting the shoulders, hitting the chest, hitting the elbow, the bicep. He was deflecting and parrying a lot of these shots, bro. I don't think that means Danny Silva won. I do think Kevin Vallejos won pretty clearly. I think he won the second and third very clearly. I think arguably that Danny Silva could have won the first. I do think round one was Danny Silva's best round. These strike numbers are completely fraudulent, bro. I promise you. Plus, Danny Silva got the takedown, but did nothing with it. Doesn't really mean much, but it is a good look. I did think Kevin Vallejos did win the second round off of activity. That's where Danny Silva kind of went down. Yes, he's all that emoting obviously negatively impacts your output. So with taking time instead of throwing strikes, fucking doing a little dances, TikTok dances, it fixes output. But this third round, man, was very close. I don't look, man. A lot of people are saying masterclass. Danny Silva did nothing, bro. This was a close fight. A lot of the shots that Vallejos was throwing, Danny Silva was rolling with, man. You just gotta rewatch it to really know what I'm talking about. But Vallejos gets it done. I predicted to get it done. I'm 4-5-2 right now. 5-2. On to the next. Neil Magny versus Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos. EZDS. Bro, the Haitian sensation gets it done, bro. Look, I don't remember what I really said in my prediction video, but I know I did predict Zaleski to probably KO Neil Magny. Ooh, I can't believe I predicted that because as soon as the fight started, bro, I was immediately cheering for Neil Magny. Like, I don't really go with who I want to win. I used to do that in the past. Now I go with who I think is gonna win, and this was a prime candidate of this fight. Uh, I really like Neil Magny. I fuck with him. He seems like a chill guy. I feel like he's been, a little, mocked too much. I really fuck with bro. I think a lot of real motherfuckers fuck with Neil Magny, dude. Uh, so seeing him go out there and just immediately, well, actually not immediately. The first round was competitive. I kind of forgot what was happening. I seen Elise Dos Santos kind of shooting him for takedowns, wanting to get working the clinch for some reason. I don't know why he would want to do that, but first round was competitive. I believe I was making a fucking drink while watching this fight, and then the second round, I think this is when Dos Santos shoots the takedowns, gets Neil Magny to the butt a little bit. Magny would be able to work back up, get back to his butt. But then I don't even remember really what happened, bro. I just remember looking back at the TV. Dos Santos is flat on his stomach, and Neil Magny is raining down ground and pound. And you could see, bro, after they stopped the fight, Dos Santos couldn't even get up. Neil Magny, without even trying to stay on him, is so fucking heavy. Groove said it best. It's not that Neil Magny is on top of his opponents, is that Neil Magny is on top of his opponents who are on top of his legs. So it's like you can't get up even if you wanted to because these legs, you're on them. It's like a scissor, right? You can't open one end without opening the other. You have to get those legs out from under you and then get up with no magnet. You can't just get up like that because his legs are so fucking lanky that they just simply doesn't. The fucking biomechanics of that shit just doesn't work against Neil Magny. Neil Magny gets it done in the second with like fucking 20 seconds to go. I was so hyped when this happened, man. I fucking love Neil Magny. Let's fucking go. Uh, on to the next, Carol Rosa versus Nora Canal. Carol Rosa kind of just beat him up. Beat him up. Just kind of beat him up for 15 minutes straight. I believe there's a point in time in the first second or third, bro. I don't fucking know. Carol Rosa was genuinely landing some crazy ground and pound that damn near could have gotten the fight stopped. I believe it was in the first and third where Carol Rosa, specifically the third, there was like 20 seconds left in the third. Carol Rosa, this shit just won't load, by the way, so I'm just gonna close it. Carol Rosa was landing some mean ground and pound shot to the third. Could have gotten it stopped in the third with a few more, but I believe she got one or two 10-8 rounds. One definitely, but one on two judges scorecard, maybe two on one judges scorecard. But on to the next fight. Elvis Brenner versus Esteban Ribovics. Man, what a fucking fight, dude. What a fucking... I'm not going to harp on this one too much because I believe the next fight was better. Elvis Brenner... Bro, hold on. Let me fucking... Why isn't this shit loading? Elvis Brenner versus Esteban Ribovics. What a fight. Fight of the night for sure. Or at least one of the fights of the night. Yeah, this shit's just not going to load, so I'm not going to pick it up. One of the fights of the night for sure. Very good. I thought Elvis Brenner... Did I think Elvis Brenner won the first round? No, I thought Elvis Brenner looked very good. I don't know if I thought he won the first round. Maybe I did think he won the first. Actually, I do believe... I want to say I believe when I first watched it, I thought Elvis Brenner won the first round. Thought Esteban Ribovics won the second, and I thought he won the third. But it got close in the final, like 30 seconds when Elvis Brenner was like landing spinning back fists and like elbows on Brenner. That's when it got real dicey for Ribovics. I was like, holy shit, is Brenner gonna steal the fucking round back? And it was crazy because the commentators were actively talking about, man, Brenner's, he's a comeback fighter, man. You never want to think that you could get Brenner out of there. You never want to coast in that last minute. And honestly, I was like, man, shut up, bro. Y'all just coping. Y'all just glazing right now. But it really got proven that last 30 seconds when Brenner really went for broke and started throwing everything but the kitchen sink at Esteban Ribovics. It was fucking crazy. Some of the combos that Ribovics had, man, he hurt Brenner a lot. I think he dropped them in the first two, if I'm not mistaken. But if he dropped them in the first, went for some shots, or is a slip. Oh, I think it was a slip. I believe he dropped them in the second though. Uh, Officially on the scorecards. But there's a trip in the first round. Elvis Brenner got immediately back to his feet though. So that was good to see. No, he didn't. He actually got pressed up against the fence, and you could see he was like, "Fuck, dude, I fucking slipped. Like shit. It's such a bad position right now." So damn, look how many fucking Brazilians there are. Jeez Louise, bro. Fucking hell. But what a fucking scrap, man. Honestly, I wonder what's going to happen with Elvis Brenner because he has had a tough go. I believe he's on a 3-fight losing streak, I want to say. I believe this was his third one. Esteban Ribovic coming off that loss against Nasrat Haqparast, man. I have a fights to make after this, and that's where we're going to go over in the same video. But Esteban Ribovic, man, looking very good. He dropped one to Nasrat Haqparast, which you hate to see. You absolutely hate to see that disgusting loss on his record. But what a fight of the night, man. I can't believe I was saying this during this fight, man. So, like, this was a really good card, minus the main event. This was a really good card. And it was just, it pains you. It really physically pains me when I see this happen in front of nobody. When I see two absolute fucking warriors trying to kill each other in that octagon in front of fucking nobody, man. Like these guys with proper marketing and proper, bro, the UFC really needs to know that, like, I know this is gonna be a bad analysis because obviously UFC has these types of fighters, but boxing, man, they have their fighters that, like Isaac Cruz, right? Doesn't have a belt or anything. Yeah, he's a former champ, but doesn't have a belt or anything. He's lost to a lot of higher level comp and even some, unknown comp. Bro, these guys could be the fucking Isaac Cruz of MMA. And I know, oh, you got your Dustin Poiriers who are probably more realistically the Isaac Cruzes. But man, dude, like with proper marketing, bro, these guys could be fucking crazy names. Esteban Ribovic and Elvis Brenner just go for it all the fucking time, and I can't believe they did that in front of nobody. Makes you wonder what they would do in front of a fucking crowd, man. Anyways, fight of the night, Esteban Ribovic gets it done. I predicted him to get it done. On to the next, Mateusz Rebecki versus Chris Duncan. Scotland! Scotland! That 1% Scottish in me, bro, was going crazy during this fight. I picked this fight. I picked Chris Duncan by vibes. I genuinely thought he had a good chance. Mateusz Rebecki was a pretty big favorite. I didn't really understand why. Their wins and losses are honestly same type of caliber in my opinion. And they go out there, bro, and they just beat him up. Beat him up. There was actually no game plan. You could actually hear their coaches just go, beat him up. Beat him up. Just fucking beatboxing that shit. In the first round, they're doing their thing. Dude, the first 30 seconds off rip, you could see Chris Duncan already cut Mateusz Rebecki. And I'm not trolling you. I'm not trolling you because I picked Chris Duncan. Watch that fight, bro. I'm 100% certain that Chris Duncan broke his hand in the first round. I'm 100. Ow, fuck! I almost broke my hand right now. What the fuck? Chris Duncan, I'm so certain that he broke his hand in the first round because they're throwing shots and immediately Chris Duncan is like, when you see him throwing, you see him not closing his hand. And obviously that's a very common thing to do. You don't close your hand before you throw. You close it when you're throwing it. Something at least a lot of fighters do. And you can see him doing that. And you see him do it a few times. And then you just see him not close his hand anymore after that. Usually when fighters, are blocking or something, they'll close their hand. Chris Duncan would not close that right hand anymore. And he stopped throwing it. And another reason why I really think he broke his hand, fighters don't utilize elbows. They just don't. And when you do see a fighter utilize elbows, it's because they have, first of all, they have the grit and recognition that's saying, hey, I broke my hand, but I got a fucking elbow, so I'm going to use it, right? They don't just not throw it if they're a good fighter. Chris Duncan is a good fighter, so he actually said, fuck, I don't got my right hand, I'm going to throw this elbow. They resort to elbows. When they break their hand, good fighters resort to elbows. And that's kind of what I saw immediately from Chris Duncan. I see him through a few shots, and it kind of looked like he broke that hand. So he's like, fuck, dude, I got to throw this right elbow. Because it's the first round. I got 10 more minutes of this shit to go. I can't have a compromised hand for this whole time. So I'm going to throw this elbow. And that elbow got him, in my opinion, got him the win. Because without that elbow, he wouldn't have cut Mateusz Rebecki open. He wouldn't have started that hematoma on his right fucking side of his forehead. He wouldn't have broken his nose. There was a lot of damage that right elbow did. Even in the first round, I thought you could arguably give Chris Duncan the first round. Because after the first round, Rebecki genuinely looks like a fucking nightmare. Got into a car crash, Rebecki looks like. Chris Duncan clean. Yeah, he got outlanded by what, like 10? By like 13 strikes. He got outlanded by 13. Not a crazy amount, but definitely that's no slouch to be hit 13 more times than you hit your opponent. But when you busted your opponent up that bad, started forming a hematoma on their fucking forehead, broke their nose, cut them above the eye, created a swollen eye, bro. I think that's something that can give you the round, regardless of getting outstruck by 13. So I actually gave Chris Duncan the first round. And then the second, I forget what kind of happens in this second and third round, because it was honestly all just the same thing. It was all just Duncan absolutely putting belt to ass on Rebecki, just fucking him up. Beat him up! Beat him up! Nah, just kidding. Dude, my dog is sniffing my mic right now. Alright, bro. Get out of my face, dude. Get out of my face. But they were just genuinely just both going blow for blow, shot for shot. Chris Duncan, I believe he was throwing some body kicks in there too. I kind of forget, but it was mainly just the hands, man, and the elbows. Duncan continued to throw them in the second, and then the third, same thing, man. The second round, Chris Duncan beats up that eye of Rebecki so fucking bad. I'm genuinely shocked that they didn't stop this fight. Maybe he could see out that right eye, but it really didn't look like it. That shit looked completely shut. And going into the third round, when I seen Rebecki get off that stool, I was like, no fucking way this fight's gonna go the rest of the 5 minutes. They're gonna stop this fight in between this round and stop it, because that eye is fucking nasty. Duncan beats up that right of Rebecki so bad. And then the third round, they're going back at it, scrapping. And this is when that hematoma really starts forming on Rebecki's head. That shit gets so massive. It literally looks like Joanna, however you say her name, bro. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. Joanna Jędrzejczyk, whatever you say it. Jędrzejczyk. That shit got so big in the final like 30 seconds when they're teeing off at each other. Rebecki actually cuts Duncan with, I want to say, an elbow. Chris Duncan actually lands a nasty elbow right on Rebecki's. That was in the first round. Never mind. Let's continue on the third round. That was something as well though. Rebecki kept slipping, which was a very bad look for him. He kept slipping after exchanges that he would win. In the first round, he cut Rebecki with that elbow, but he slipped. He slipped after throwing it. Even like no shot got returned on him. He just threw the elbow and slipped, which was kind of crazy. But in this third round, he really put belt to ass in that final 30 seconds, teeing off on Rebecki up against the fence. Threw that knee up the middle, man. It was absolutely insane. I heard all four of these fighters, Rebecki, Duncan, Brenner, Ribovics, all got hospitalized, which makes sense, dude. You want to see these fighters get rushed straight to the ER. No fucking interview, no questions asked. Send Rebecki to the hospital now. Now, after the third round, he immediately drops to his hands and knees, and blood is gushing from his fucking forehead. I was like, no, bro, get him out of here now, please. or we're gonna have a fucking Duncan's gonna have caught a body live on TV. Chris Duncan gets a win. I get my pick right. On to the next fight. Tatsuro Taira versus fucking Travis Scott. Peace of mind. Young Sung Park over here. I gotta find peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? Taira, man, he goes out there and he does what you want to see him do against an unranked fighter taking this fight on a week notice. Not really though, because I would have preferred to see Taira get it done in the first, but he damn near almost got it done in the first. He hit two crisp 1-2s on Hyung Sung Park. Just not even really 1-2s, just a two. Twice on Hyung Sung Park. Hit him with it once. Hyung Sung Park backs up, wipes his face off. Taira closes distance, throws it again, drops him. Bad. Drops him bad, man. And it makes me really think, fuck, Steve Erceg would have fucking killed this boy if he's getting dropped by a 1-2 just down the middle by Tatsuro Taira. Now, obviously, Tatsuro Taira isn't really bad with their striking, but it's just we've seen him kind of get, honestly, kind of pieced up by Brandon Royval. Man, I would like to see Brandon Royval versus Astro Boy, man. I really want to see that fight. But Tatsuro Taira drops him in the first and then gets his back immediately and kind of just backpacks him for the rest of the round. Kind of really Aljamain Sterling maxes this guy. Doesn't let him go, doesn't let him off. He has the hooks in. Hyung Sung Park completely defenseless. Literally can't really do anything. Tatsuro Taira has his back. He's kind of slipping off to the side at the end of the first. And Hyung Sung Park lands him. Bro, Hyung Sung Park, he's crafty, man. He's crafty. He lands a nasty elbow, left elbow on Tatsuro Taira's face. Because Tatsuro Taira's really just hanging off. And I'm really looking at him and it's like, man, he looks really comfortable in there. He's just like, he's kind of like killing time. He's just like looks real comfortable. He's not really doing anything right now. But he's just kind of like killing time. Hyung Sung Park can't do anything, and Park, you see him like get a little fed up. He just fucking lands this nasty left elbow on Taira, and you can actually see Taira get mad. You could see him like fuck. You could see him like dig his head in Hyung Suk Park's shoulder. You see him, we got a little upset that he got hit with that because that was a nasty elbow that he landed. You could tell Taira wasn't expecting it. Looked like he visually like got upset by that shot, which I thought was fucking hilarious. And the second round, man, Taira just immediately gets him down. Forget how, probably, I guess a takedown. Immediately gets the takedown. Hold on. Immediately gets the takedown, man. Has him up against the fence, drags him a little bit away from it, and then just like sinks in the rear naked choke. Or neck crank, actually. Face crank. He immediately gets it. Like, not even immediately, but it's like chin in the elbow crevice. Like, Park's chin is in Taira's elbow crevice, and that's how you really get that nasty face crank. And he just fucking torques it so much. Park's neck, starts getting, Habib versus Conor style. Taira gets a submission in round one, man. Kind of what you want to see. A little bit, I would have liked to seen it in the first, but 1 minute into the second, man, it's not that bad. Even Tom Aspinall took fucking that one motherfucker to the fucking second round. You know who I'm talking about. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. But that dude. But hey man, I got a fights to make video right here too. I'm not gonna make a separate video. I'm gonna just do it because I only have like 4 fights on it. So let's get straight into it, bro. Fights to make by yours truly. Oh fuck. Excuse me. Taira, he got that win over Park that we just went over. And the top of the division is really clear. Also want to say one thing. Oh, Taira. I forgot to mention it. Bro, he was Sean O'Malley dribbling on Park within the first 30 seconds of this fight. And I was like, dude, you're trolling. You're actually trolling right now. You're a fucking jiu-jitsu nerd. Why are you fucking dribbling on this kid? And then he proves me wrong immediately. He does that dribble, and then like 30 seconds later, he's dropping Park flat on his fucking back. I'm like, okay, what a level up from Taira, man. A big level up in the striking that we've seen. He dropped the ball against Royval in the fight before this one, but hey, Royval's a pretty decent striker, man. He went really close. He made it really close with Brandon Moreno in their fight. I think Taira can, with some improvement, he can definitely get to a level where he needs to be to beat Moreno. But That's the fight that I think should happen next. Him versus Brandon Moreno. Brandon Moreno's last fight was against Steve Ersteg in Mexico. Brandon Moreno doesn't really fight that often. Tatsuro Taira had a quick win. I think you can make this fight on that Noche card in September. Oh, but it's already August. I'd highly doubt he wants to fight next month. Tyra, because they both don't really. Both of these guys are kind of fighters that need long camps or they want long camps. And Brandon Moreno, it's like 4 weeks away. I highly doubt he's in shape. Tatsuro Taira just had a short notice matchup, and to get a high level striker like Brandon Moreno, maybe he would like more than 3 weeks to train for Brandon Moreno, because have not even 3 weeks, like honestly like 2.5 weeks, dude, because that with all the fucking media and weight cutting, bro, it'd literally be like a 2 week camp for Tyra. So probably not then, but hopefully later in the year this fight can be made. I'd really like to see it. There's not much else for Brandon Moreno. There's not much else for Tyra besides the Kai France and rebooking the Albazi fight, which I don't think he's looking for. Maybe he's looking for it, but I think Albazi is injured. I don't think he pulls out unless he's like actually severely injured. The guy's been fighting neck surgery and spine surgeries for the fucking longest time. So all respect to Albazi. Hope he gets better. So in the meantime, I think we should make this fight. On to the next. Chris Duncan, he got that win over Mateusz Rebecki in a fucking dog scrap, bro. A dog fight. And I think he should fight Nasrat Haqparast, man. The guy who has a win over Esteban Ribovics and Jared Gordon, man. Nasrat Haqparast is making a run of his own. He himself debatedly deserves a ranked opponent next. Well, I don't think either of these guys necessarily do, but I think the winner of this should 100% get a ranked opponent. They're both kind of on a little run right now. Nasrat Haqparast is on like a 4-fight win streak, I want to say. Chris Duncan, he's 5-1 in the UFC. Only losses to Manuel Torres. And man, I think this fight will be a banger. High level. Nasrat Haqparast, like I said, he's on a run. He's kind of not fraud checking, but he's going to I don't know. I thought he lost fucking that Ribovics and Gordon fight. Well, I thought he lost the Gordon fight, but I thought he did win that Ribovics fight actually. But it was very close. But Chris Duncan, they're very similarly placed in the rankings. At least they are on Tapology. Make this fight winner gets a lower level 15th ranked opponent. On to the next fight. Esteban Ribovics, man, he gets a win over Elvis Brenner, who's also similarly ranked to him. Man, dude, fuck it. Let's give him the winner, fucking Diego Ferreira versus Bobby Green. I know what you're saying. It is a very steep drop off in level or in competition. Bobby Green, dude, this is such a weird limbo because Bobby Green beat Grant Dawson, and Grant Dawson fucking murdered, like fucking mogged Diego Ferreira so hard. So this is very interesting. You don't really ever know how Bobby Green and Diego Ferreira are gonna show up, but I think Esteban Ribovics versus the winner of these guys, maybe you could arguably. I don't know. I don't think Esteban Ribovics deserves a ranked opponent yet. He's like 4-1 in the UFC, maybe 5-1. So I think the winner of this matchup that's coming up fairly soon, I think you could give the winner to Esteban Ribovics, and the winner looks for a lower 15th ranked opponent. I think Esteban Ribovics has deserved it. I think Nasrat Haqparast has deserved it. I think Chris Duncan has deserved it. Maybe there'll be some mixing and matching. Maybe Ribovics versus Duncan, that gets a winner. That the winner of that gets a ranked opponent. But I just don't think you look. I just think both of those guys have been facing kind of dogs, really hard opponents. I don't think there's anything wrong with giving them a quote unquote easier, but still up in competition matchup for them. Like in theory, Diego Ferreira versus Bobby Green is a tough matchup. I mean, they're bottom ranked top 15 type fighters, but they're kind of the easier and older out of the lower top 15. So Esteban Ribovics versus the winner. Winner can look for a ranked opponent. I think it's a very great fight. Makes a lot of sense. On to the next. Kevin Vallejos, man, still rocking that fucking Dana White Contender Series pick, man. Fucking gotta love that shit. He's 2-0 in the UFC. He just got this win over. Hold on, I'm a burp. He just got this win over who? Danny Silva, who in his own right was 2-0 with split decisions going in here. And then he has a win over, like, I don't know, some fucking Korean dude, man. Fuck it, dude. Give him Morgan Charrier, man. I seen this fight floating around some MMA pages posting it, and honestly, I couldn't come up with a fight better than this. Both have big names. You don't want to give Kevin Vallejos a no-name bum, bro. You know, you want to build up one of these fighters. You don't want Kevin Vallejos in a Esteban Ribovics type situation where he fucking loses to Nasrat Haqparast, right? Obviously, that's not there. These guys are featherweights, but you get what I mean. You don't want him losing to a fucking, I don't know, who's like a featherweight with no name. You know, you don't want to lose him to one of those guys. You don't really want him losing to fucking. He could lose to fucking, you know, Air Jordan, you know, Charles Air Jordan. I wouldn't mind that. But you get what I mean. You don't want him losing to a fighter that doesn't really have a name like Charles Jordan, who may be a bad comparison because Jordan does have a little following of his own. I see him on YouTube, you know, not YouTube, but Instagram, you know, making those funny little skits. But Kevin Vallejos versus Morgan Charrier, big French name. There's that Paris card coming up next month. Don't think Vallejos or Charrier want to fight on that card, but you know, just it's a fight that can be made in the future. Morgan Charrier, he's like 2-2 in the UFC, or maybe he's 3-2 now. Yeah, I think is he 3-2 or is he 2-2? I can't remember, but not the best record in the UFC so far. Kind of even 50-50 type of fighter. Kevin Vallejos 2-0. They're fairly similarly ranked. This is not a stretch matchup whatsoever. If you have two impressive performances, which Kevin Vallejos does, I think you know, are on the same level of a Morgan Charrier, who's like 2-2 in the UFC. So you can make this fight. I think it'll be a very good matchup. And that's what I think you should do, man. That's my breakdown of this card. Those are my fights to make after this card, man. I hope you guys enjoyed. I was thoroughly entertained this entire time with this fight card. I think a lot of people were, man. If you really sat down, you don't got to really be a hardcore to watch this card. It was just a good card, and I feel like a lot of people like Lucas Tracy, fucking all these other guys, they complain, they shit themselves too much, they cry, complain, and fucking whine all the time. But it was actually a very decent card, name value wise, and it performed just as well, which is, you know, typically doesn't happen. You know, when you have cards with name value, typically you can kind of not expect it to underperform, but you know, typically these cards with no names, man, no names, which this card wasn't. You know, those cards be banging, which this was kind of the you know, a mix of the two. So very good to see. Tyra versus Park. Hope you guys enjoyed my breakdown. Enjoy my fights to make next. And I'll see you guys fairly soon. I think I'm gonna make a video tomorrow talking about the top 15 Apex Warriors in the UFC. So yeah, expect that tomorrow. I'll catch y'all later. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you're new, and peace.